Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is retired Lincoln's Inn Solicitor Farid El Diwany here on this glorious day for the people of America. Genocide Joe and his abortion babe, forgive the pun, Camilla Harris, have today, Wednesday the 6th of November 2024, been kicked into orbit, where they belong. Two very destructive personages, one who participates in the mass slaughter of innocent citizens in the Middle East, and the other who wants to initiate a policy of mass slaughter of unborn children under the subtly termed reproductive rights mantra. Congratulations to Donald Trump. 4 more years to restore order. What we need here in the United Kingdom is a strong, innovative and resolute leader like Donald Trump to reform the much-hated Solicitors Regulation Authority, the SRA. And in the meantime, get rid of its under-fire Chief Executive Officer Paul Phillip, pictured here in the Times newspaper in front of you, of Thursday, October the 31st, 2024. There are a whole page to himself. Watchdog missed £64 million fraud. So, we all want Paul Phillip to resign. The solicitor members of the legal profession now. Resign along with all his staff, in particular the deceitful bigot, the Australian Investigations Officer Chris Boyce, as well as the SRA's enforcers, the law firm Capsticks, and their mercenary for hire, barrister Benjamin Tankle. There needs to be a total clear out. We are told the SRA now face enforcement action due to their failure to prevent the Axiom Ince fraud debacle. I hope we can deport them all to Gaza and Beirut and let them suffer and learn humility. Then hire new staff for the SRA. As an organisation, they are not fit for purpose, and like Chris Boyce, they leave the big boys alone and in general treat the remaining echelons of the profession as if they are a permanent danger to the public. With the Me Too attack dogs at the SRA regarding, quote, men in the office, as if they were all potential Benny Hills in suits. Yes, indeed, this last week the SRA have been torpedoed by the Legal Services Board and then the legal press, including, would you believe, the Law Gazette, the Law Society Gazette, for their incompetence over the Axiom Ince fiasco. Paul Phillip will not resign unless, say, the Lord Chancellor Shabana Mahmood forces him to fall on his sword. So come on, Shabana, be brave and force Paul Phillip to go. Anyone who criticises or tries to sue the SRA is branded as a loser who, quote, lacks all insight and whose arguments are regarded as, quote, totally without merit. You may well end up with a general civil restraint order, as I did after the SRA persuaded the High Court that I was a vexatious litigant. The SRA use other people's money, the earnings of solicitors that is, to prosecute those they deem bring the profession into disrepute. People like myself, simply because of my whistle-blowing heroics on Norwegian bigotry and Islamophobia. The SRA are, of course, a necessary foil for keeping the profession in good order, but in its present form, the SRA have lost their way completely and have initiated a seething hate campaign against the profession. They regard justified criticism of their staff as a form of harassment to be punished by them, and in my case get their establishment buddies, the police, to pay me a visit. There is so much secrecy and cover-up surrounding the organisation. Bigotry and racism and Islamophobia is condoned with impunity. Yet the SRA regard themselves as models of diversity observance. Here in front of you are a few of my books regarding my tumultuous struggles with the SRA. There we have a good look. They're all available on Amazon. The SRA and the Solicitors Disciplinary Tribunal are definitive establishment bodies, as are the judiciary. As such, these institutions deeply resent being criticised, even when it is wholly merited. One risks reputational ruin, if not financial ruin, when taking on the SRA or their stablemates, the Solicitors Disciplinary Tribunal. And at the end of the line, there's the judiciary, who effectively regard the SRA and the SDT as friends and colleagues. They all see themselves as unimpeachable bastions for and of the rule of law. Leaders and fonts of definitive wisdom whose word must always be accepted as a gospel truth, so as to save us all from anarchy. Look at how much it costs in legal fees to initiate an appeal in litigation. Huge sums, relatively speaking. And a judge will always look more favourably upon a litigant if he has a top barrister to represent him, as opposed to a litigant in person who just stands there on his own and represents himself. Believe me, I've seen it with my own eyes many times. There is a vast inequality of arms in litigation. If you have money, you will get a barrister to advise you on matters that you can easily argue yourself. But, as I have said, the judges know the barristers in front of them. They come before them all the time, often old chambers, the judges' previous chambers, that's where the barristers are from, and they sympathise more with a litigant who has got a well-paid barrister to argue for them. Apart from my books, read also my website, farideldawany.com, for a greater insight into establishment skullduggery. There is far too much respect for the elite in this country. Much of the judiciary need to retire forthwith, such as Lady Justice Sharp, Lord Justice Bean, Sir Geoffrey Voss, Lord Justice Warby, Mrs. Justice May, Mr. Justice Sweeting, Mr. Justice Ben Nathan and Mr. Justice J. They occupy the pinnacle of the very complacent, self-satisfied class system, and many of them, like Lady Justice Sharp and new Lady Chief Justice Sue Carr, have millions in personal and family wealth. Donald Trump is very rich himself, but still tells people exactly what he thinks of them, as I do. So see for yourselves my books and my website. So, President-elect Donald Trump, if you decide to visit Britain in the next few weeks, please come and kick some ass and appoint some judges to the High Court who, for a change, are possessed with full integrity, and fire those many members of the judiciary cursed with obvious moral turpitude and who often use sleight of hand to defeat the innocent. Please introduce new judicial conduct rules to stop the judiciary using their tricks of the trade, coupled with a wholly unfettered discretion to frequently defeat justice. We need new blood, new attitudes, and new morals on the bench. We don't have to live this way. We need a drastic form of levelling up here. We also have too many arse lickers at the Royal Courts of Justice, supported by civil servants well practised in the dark arts, such as Ben Yallop, Michelle Soris and Alice Rose, all working of late in the private office of the recently retired Lord Chief Justice Sir Ian Burnett. Come with me, Mr. Trump, to the SRA's headquarters in Birmingham and convert it into a Trump Plaza. Sack all the staff and handcuff Paul Phillip and escort him from the building to the song, I fought the law and the law won. I fought the law and the law won. I fought the law and the law won. Love it. So, good luck to everybody. Good luck to the solicitors remaining in the profession. And let's hope the Solicitors Regulation Authority become a defunct organisation to be replaced by a proper organisation who care more for us and care more for truth and justice. Thank you for listening. Good night and God bless you all.